Okay, today we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing decimals. And the big point of this lesson is that you don't have to line up the decimal points. You do not have to line up the decimal points. So let's look at example number 1. Okay, you actually don't even have to worry with multiplication about the decimal points until the end of the problem. So I'm just going to write 4.25 and then 3.1. Okay, and I like to go ahead and just line up everything on the right. That's how I learned it when I was a kid, and that's how I still multiply. So now what we're going to do is start here with 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. I'm going to put a 0 to show that I completed this number 1 multiplication. And now I'm going to go to the 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, and now I'm going to add those two together. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 4 plus 7 is 11. 1 plus 2 is 3, and then a 1. Okay, and now to place our decimal, I should have 1, 2, 3 numbers behind my decimal point, because that's how many came after the decimal point in the two factors. So 1, 2, 3, and then my decimal point goes right there. So 13.175. Right, and if I look at it as far as like an estimate, this is about 4 times about 3. 4 times 3 is 12. They're both a little bit more than that, so it makes sense that this is 13. Okay, so down here, let's do, well, let me just set this up and then I'll refer back to this. So we have 55.318 being divided by 3.4. Okay, so then what it says over here is that when you're dividing decimals, move the decimal point to the right until there are no decimals on the outside number. Okay, so you can see down here that I didn't want a decimal point, so I moved it, and then you move it to the inside as well. So that's what I'm going to do over here. I'm going to take this 3.4 and I'm going to move the decimal point there, and I'm going to take this one, and the decimal point now goes right there. Okay, and when I'm working these out, I like to go ahead and just put my decimal point right up there. So now 34 goes into 5 no times. Does 34 go into 55? Yes, it goes in once. 1 times 34 is 34. Now I subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. And then I bring down my 3. Okay, and this is again where estimating can come in handy. So I'm trying to figure out how many times do I think 34 can go into 213. So I'm going to say this is about 35. So I know it goes 35, and then 35 again would be 70, then 105. So then that's times 3, so times 6 would be 210. So I'm just going to start with 6, and let's see what happens. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. And then I subtract. I'm going to borrow to make this a 13, and this is 0. 13 minus 4 is 9. 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. So this is perfect, right? Because as long as this number is less than 34, I know I got this correct. So if this was in elementary school math, we would write like remainder 9, but this is middle school, and so we're going to keep going, and we are going to pull down this number 1. So how many times do I think 34 can go into 91? Twice. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. 11 minus 8 is 3. 8 minus 6 is 2. And then one more, bring down that 8. So I know that when I multiplied it by 6, I got 204. This is bigger, so I'm going to do 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23. And look, 238 minus 238 is 0. So this would be my answer.